In January the 3rd, sorry, December the 3rd, we went to ASOS in Gordon. We had a meeting of 15 people, of disabled people in the ASOS office. You were there, Jim, weren't you? And the security guard at Stevenson House wasn't very interested, wasn't very happy. To have people in the reception area, equals please. And we ended up on the footpath. As I say, we had the coordinator advertisers there, taking photographs and all the rest of it, which is our first sort of media campaign in Croydon. And then the other thing we've done is at the last council meeting, which was the end of January, we had a protest outside the town hall where nine disabled people who were considered as cold and windy is spitting, wasn't too bad. And we had going back to this meeting we had with Ellen in this week forum, it was an open meeting, all the 70 councillors were invited. Well, obviously some of them worked during the day and fair enough. But we had 3 councillors there, all minority party, and the leader of the opposition in Croydon wants to reappoint Deepak. And he told me that just about a few weeks later. He heard about Croydon Deepak because of his councillor telling him. Anyway, so we went to the town hall on 2 weeks ago, and we blocked the main steps to the town hall, which I was told previously you can't do that. Anyway, we did it. Anyway, so we had the advertising Guardian there, Croydon Guardian, and it was also covered by Inside Croydon, which is a web-based newspaper sort of thing. And they cut and pasted the report that we did, and then well, one thing is the council in a budget meeting at the end of this month. They say they're going to cut £10 million off the budget, but unlike other authorities, they won't tell us where the cuts are going to go. And so obviously we're sort of blanket lobbying against any of the cuts. And one thing that we found out is that Croydon gets £300 per person from the national government to run the local services, because it's supposed to be an affluent borough. Well, maybe in certain parts of the borough it was affluent sort of 20 or 30 years ago. But of course, the northern end of Croydon is rather less affluent, and yet now we get £700 per person the same year. And one thing you know, Lord Bletchley, he may have heard Lord Bletchley, he goes on a boat and he's retired with the next general election. He said, he's the MP pointed out, he said he had never seen anybody who is complaining against the changes to welfare benefits. He doesn't think that's an issue. And so the next thing that also got down is that the Barwell, who is solely MP in Warren Central, he is planning to have a meeting on 19th of February in the town hall. He's having it. About the welfare benefit changes, so which will be there. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed. A detailed report. I mean, it's obviously important to hear this detail, but just trying to want to make sure we can get around everybody. We've got a report back from Southwark, Deepak.
Yeah, the Southwark Deepak group was set with a lot of enthusiasm when we first got set up. But I think people didn't think about the implications of the kind of the administrative implications of trying to manage it and things like that. And it's tended to fall a bit into limbo. There wasn't a period where there was some regular activity going on. We were going out and organising pickets outside people that are involved in work placement for disabled people and things like that. We try to get more people involved in that process. But we had problems about, finding venues we can make use of, especially for evening meetings, etc. So another side to drop off. The people who are trying to manage the website stuff are struggling a bit, so that's kind of. But we're trying to build it up again. We've been offered possible new meeting venues we're looking into. The one successful thing we did was we got involved with the local trades council, got some money in the TDC to organise, get some transport to go up to the big national demo. And we got involved with the local trades council in Suffolk and Amber to organise a pre-rally, which people were taking up from to feed into the main demo. So that was very successful. But I think all the effort involved in that drained the people that were kind of the most active people in the election were a bit burnt out. So I say we're trying to rebuild it again now. So and we've got some donations from local trade unions already to all the stuff we've done. And so we think we can rebuild it. As I say, I'm actually from Greenwich. There's not currently a disabled people against the touch group Greenwich. I would be interested if other people, in Greenwich was looking to try and get involved in that, but I'm aware of that taking on too much because I've got chronic fatigue problems. Many people may as well doing now,
Okay, thanks very much. And we've had quite a chip in here, just with one thing that maybe people can have a think about is a number of people have said about in order to keep groups sustainable and with the difficulties we have in travel and moving around and accessibility, and not necessarily just having autonomous, all different groups, but cooperating across borders and boundaries locally in order to make our local campaign sustainable. I mean, I've been incredibly impressed by the work that Southwark DPAC's done in the very short time it's formally existed. So, we should take a lot more credit for what we actually do, and maybe that's something people think about, maybe chipping in on the discussion, this idea about more group working and working on slightly broader areas as well. Following on from that, we've got Sandy from Islington DPAC.
Right. Islington DPAC, in my view, is going really, really well. We get an awful lot of support from Disability Action in Islington. We have a really active group of people who are there, which makes it really good. It means you don't have to go to every meeting. Like I didn't go to the last one, so I'm not quite sure. We've done a lot of campaigning. We've been on all the marches. We've demonstrated outside Atos headquarters. We picketed at the Business Design Centre when Atos was saying we're a wonderful place to work, come and join us. What else? We
occupied the local Atos office. We occupied the local Atos office, didn't we?
Yes. We've been up there quite a few times as well. I think we've kind of focused on national stuff because the local authority hasn't been cutting its services. It had a fairness committee about 18 months ago where it kind of identified that disabled people needed to be supported, as well as giving London living wage, increasing the number of education to kind of for fairness, which is this theoretical thing, but it works quite well. We still have people with moderate needs who get care services, and they're quite generous. Well, I think they're quite generous. We still have things like a reasonable signage service and things. I mean, there's obviously there are a few problems. Obviously, there always are. I mean, one of the problems at the moment is about the council with the ILF. Are saying that they can take over the ILF, which, yes, they may be able to do, but I'm concerned about what that means further down the road. What are you saying, Deborah?
I was just saying that there's new issues around respite in Islington.
Yeah, but there are problems about the way that they're changing that, but that's quite early, and there's still a lot of argument to be had, in my view, before we get there. And of course, they're selling off half our local hospital. Which they've sold off some of it without telling us as well. But the one advantage I think we have in Islington is that we've got two good, strong Labour MPs, and particularly in Islington North, Jeremy Corbyn, who has done a lot of early day motions with John McDonnell. So I think we're doing pretty well as a group. I mean, there's clearly more. we can be doing, but, it's all good fun, isn't it?
Okay, thanks very much, Sandy. Just to look at the time, I mean, we're doing fairly okay for time. We're going to be breaking for lunch next. So I'm just wondering, I mean, one of the themes I picked up here, I don't know how other people feel, is that it seems to be what DPOs, disabled people organisations, already exist on the ground, our local forums or whatever. Seems to be sort of there's a match there between what we've got and how easy it's been to establish DPAC groups and getting in contact, and this feeling that it's harder in some areas, and when you're struggling with a small local group about the joint working in local areas, whether pardon me, kind of regional informal organisations would be good. I don't know if people want to continue a little bit more with this discussion, or whether people want to move to a break.
There's 3 hands up.
We've got hands up, okay, so we'll continue for a little bit here. We've got...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting about the whole, I mean, I'm hoping to set up a Brent DPAC. And interestingly, somebody who I know is Brent very well said it might well consist of armchair activists. So I said, that's great, it's got to start from somewhere. So I think it's really important that even if, when we do set ourselves up, even if people are, for whatever reason, are not able to join demos, but we can still be seen as being active, even online, and that's something that I'm possibly, because I was thinking, great, because I thought with Brent, we might not even get any kind of activism going. So one of the things that I might be exploring, in terms of is starting out with a Brent DPAC who might be interested in, engaging with DPAC. On terms of the online activity, and then hopefully that will start building people's, wanting to get out more. So I think it's about, I think the kind of message that's coming to me is whether DPAC, because I think what you said, Rob, is about demos and things like that. Yes, it is, but it's also about what other people can do to complement demos, which is a lot of online activity, which would not have happened when I got involved in Dan 20 years ago, because they didn't have any online activity. So I suppose the message for me would be, and the other big issue I think is, as DPAC gets its, really becomes a force in its own thing, and I think and I'm not sure what the answer is, do we want to be fighting against cuts to respite and cuts to segregated services? And that's not a discussion I want to have now here at lunchtime, now, but just something to be thinking about at national discussions at some point in the future. Okay?
Okay, thanks, Simon. We've got, perhaps we can ask Rob or perhaps Alan from the National Committee who'd like to come back on the first part of what you're saying there, Simon, about accessibility and other ways of being involved. So I know we have done stuff on that. But there's 2 other questions. One is, I've forgotten your name, sorry, the brother from Greenwich, I think indicated.
Yeah. Well, just on the point, like I said, I think, joint working and sharing of resources is the way forward. I think that's the problem with people struggling with resources and numbers of people being involved in local areas to be effective. So it's been experienced in suburbs. As well as being, as I say, being involved in being actively DPAC. I'm also involved with Mad Pride, which has been affiliated with DPAC since the outset. And Mad Pride is like a loose network of people all across London, all around the country. And we've been campaigning around these issues, particularly raising concerns about the implications of welfare reform for people with mental health issues. So we've been doing that campaign in our own right, and we've found that building close links and networking with other disabled organisations is a way forward for getting regional being more effective. So, I very much support that we need to work more closely together and share resources and numbers and be more effective.
Thank you. That's really helpful. I think,
Hi, be back shortly, guys.
One more person
Thanks.
indicated at the moment